breathe. Join the crew, take your seat. Welcome to the wrestle heat. Malapert, Smark, time to fly. Stories don't catch your eye. Talking champs till we die. The Smark's always high.
All right. Welcome back to the Malapert Smark podcast. You telling me you didn't hear any of that, Robert? Is that what happened?
Until the very end?
For about 15 seconds, no, and then I heard always high.
Really? That fucking makes no sense. What about you, Vlad? You hear it?
No, I heard it all. I hear it all. Yeah, I don't know why.
You heard
Robert
it all.
didn't hear it.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm not complaining. I'm cool with the always high line.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, well-
it's funny that that's what you only hear at the end, though. That's just. I would have been laughing too. Why didn't you ever mention it?
Yeah, I mean the rest of the song is good too. I'll try to fix that.
I didn't want to interrupt the podcast just to mention that, but yeah. Now you know.
Yeah, funny. All right,
guys. Well, welcome back. I'm sorry it took us a long time. There was a delay. There was about a 15-minute delay for us recording because I usually have a second monitor in case my main monitor goes out, but I couldn't get it to work with that monitor. So we're just going with one monitor today. All right, we're living dangerously. But this is the Malapert Smark podcast. This is almost the end of the year. It's almost Christmas, December 22nd today, and we're here to talk about the week in wrestling. All right, so AEW and WWE specifically, and for that I got Vlad, the wrestling expert here. Thank you, Vlad, for being on.
always great to be here. You know that.
All right, good. We can hear you pretty well. So Robert is also back. Thank you for being back, Robert. You missed last week. We're happy to have you back.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back.
All right, cool. So listen, it's almost the end of the year. I had planned to do a year-end, awards show like a lot of these podcasts and websites do for, wrestling awards, but I didn't really have time to get it all together. But we're going to give a little teaser of that because next week we're going to do our complete award show. But for today's show, we'll just do one award. We're going to give the award for the Malapert Smark, Feud of the Year for WWE and AEW. So I have 25 candidates that I have put together. I guess I was in charge of that. I chose who will be on the short list. 25 is a lot. I'm not sure if we'll have that for all the other awards next week, but this is just like a taste to see how it goes. And here we go. So I'm going to my blog, all right, and I'm going to read through the candidates, and then I'll show who got the most points out of our votes. So here's how it works. So these are our voters. Us three. Vlad, the wrestling expert. Robert, the frozen Asian. And me, yours truly, Kahan. I'm the Malapert Smark. So here's what we do. So each voter chooses 5 feuds, and their top 5. And for first place, they get 5 points. Second place, 4 points. Third place, 3, and so on. And then we'll add all of our votes and see who wins Feud of the Year in wrestling. So, all right. So candidates. Number 1. I got Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. So these are all thumbnails from my YouTube page. I didn't go take the time to really look for extra pictures, but some of them have specific dates and stuff, but just ignore that. And so, all right, first candidate, Rhea versus Liv Morgan. All right, obviously a very prominent feud. Some would say Liv Morgan has thrived and, become a superstar this year, probably her best year in wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
And this is
definitely a
part of it. So yeah, you guys jump in with any comments you want to throw in for my list of top 25 feuds, the short list for Malapert Smark Feud of the Year in wrestling. So Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, number 1. Number 2, Swerve Strickland and Adam Hangman Page. So Hangman Page burnt down Swerve's house, and that was a monumental moment in the year. As we go through this, what a year of wrestling we've had. But Vlad, you can give your comments on this probably later on because this will come up on the short list. Believe it or not, this storyline, this feud, this program came up on the short list. All right, another big one, a top candidate for Feud of the Year, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, this was amazing. We know that. Culminating
inside Hell in a Cell. So that was really amazing. A great feud, I would say. I loved every step of it. Every promo battle they had was so good. Okay. Number 4, OG Bloodline versus Solo's Bloodline. So this is Roman, and his old Bloodline crew going up against Solo, who recruited a bunch of criminals, and Paul Heyman's involved, and they had War Games. So this, I don't know if it's culminated, because it's kind of still going.
It's still going.
Yeah, Solo is set up to fight, but I guess we're just judging based on what we have so far. Number 5, this is an older one from earlier in the year. It's Bloodline, which was at the time Roman and The Rock, versus Cody and his friends. So Cody got a bunch of guys to help him, including Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, and John Cena came in at the end too. But that was a crazy, crazy night at WrestleMania. The Undertaker, The Rock, and everything. What a night! All right, so number 6, a surprise entrant into our list of
surprise for all of us
feuds this year: Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman. Probably one of the most entertaining feuds. So we'll see where it ended up on our list. Robert.
Oh, yeah.
Jada Parker and Lola Vice.
Honorable mention.
I should have put this one on my top 5, but it didn't make my top 5. But I love this.
This is an honorable mention for me.
All right. And then here's another one. I don't know, maybe controversially on this list, but I decided to add it anyways. The Death Riders, Jon Moxley's new stable, against AEW defenders, quote unquote, anybody who defended AEW. So that's still going on.
There's no one defending AEW anymore.
This was Isaiah Cassidy, but Orange Cassidy is one of them. The conglomeration.
Oh, I see what you mean.
This is an ongoing feud, man. This is an ongoing feud. All right.
And what a feud it was.
Edge and Christian, which was really good, because I was looking back at some of our videos, our reviews of Edge and Christian today. There was some really funny stuff, like Christian getting chased through the parking lot and getting chased out of the building, running all the way from the ring to the parking lot, stealing a car and running away like that was really good. So this was one of my top feuds, I think. MJF and Daniel Garcia. I threw this in. Hey, I was trying to find a legitimate MJF feud. It was kind of hard. Okay.
Yeah.
So, like Will Ospreay, his feud with Will Ospreay didn't make my list. I thought this was better than that, honestly. But if you can think of another MJF feud that was better than this, let me know. But okay, I'm gonna move on. Bryan Danielson and Swerve Strickland. So this was for Bryan Danielson's title, or his career, right? This was career versus title at All in London, the main event. So it had some it had us on the edge of our seat. Some of us didn't know if Danielson would be retiring or not that day. So I think that was a good match. I liked it. It was a good feud. Let's see who else. Bryan Danielson making it on the list again versus Jon Moxley and the Death Riders this time. So Jon Moxley took Danielson's world title, retired him, and tried to suffocate him and try to murder him. So, all right. Number 13 on the list, Sting and Darby Allin versus the Young Bucks. Sting's farewell to wrestling. It was his last match. It was a great match. I mean, the feud is another story, but, it still makes our list as being Sting's final match. Cody Rhodes against Solo and the Bloodline. All right. That was another prominent feud this year. Let me move on from that. LA Knight versus AJ Styles I added to the list for the day that whose house who went to whose house again? It was
LA Knight went to AJ's.
LA Knight went to AJ's house in Georgia. Police got involved.
Yeah.
Okay, that was pretty good. Finn Balor and Damian Priest, which seems to always have to do something with Gunther, because Finn Balor has cost Damian against Gunther twice. Breakup of the Judgment Day, prominent feud. All right, I added it on the list. I don't know, top 25. Cody Rhodes versus AJ. So this was the one where AJ faked his retirement to get a match with Cody. So I like that too. I think the feud, it ended kind of sad for me with AJ quitting in that I Quit match. But okay, overall the feud and the matches were still good. Let's see what else we got. Gunther and Damian Priest. Gunther calling Priest street trash and all that. So I thought that was not bad. Not bad. All right. Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker. They had a feud for the Intercontinental title. Lots of good matches. Sami Zayn, another one on the list, against Gunther. So that one, I think, came up twice in the year. Right? They fought at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental, and then they also fought for the world title. later on. Their second feud, I don't know if I liked it, but I like their matches, so they still make the list here. They make the short list. Another one that's still going on: Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes. So, and we will talk about this later on this podcast because there was something from this Friday night SmackDown that had to do with this. So Kevin Owens pissed off that Cody teams with Roman Reigns and turns on him. And that's still going on into the new year. So still makes our list, though. All right, CM Punk and Seth Rollins. So that's another one that's still going. I don't know. Maybe the best is yet to come, but they've had some pretty good
Potentially. So far, so good. Yeah.
All right. Number 23, the Terror Twins, which is Damian Priest and Rhea against their old group, the Judgment Day. I guess I added that to the list. Another one for us, Robert, Zachary Wentz and Wesley. I like this one, man. I have a soft spot in my heart for this one, so I put them on the short list. And then the last one, number 25, Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins, which Bronson Reed started with Seth Rollins when he was trying to, make himself famous, and Braun Strowman entered the picture after that, and then he went back to Seth Rollins. So that was a pretty good feud, too. I really like that, too. But let's go to our final score, our final votes. So I already have the results are in for the Malapert Smark Feud of the Year. We're going to find out right now. So Kahan's top 5 feuds. That's me. Here we go. Number 1, I'm giving it to Punk and McIntyre. All right, 5 points. You surprised, Vlad? That you thought I'd give it to Swerve and Hangman? I kind of wanted to. I'm being serious about my votes here. All right, I'm not voting like the Wrestling Observer people. I'm voting what I actually think was the best one. But number 2 on my list, pretty high up, Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman. So
that's kind of a surprise.
Yeah, and then Rhea and Liv, 3 points. I made this list before I saw you guys' list, so I didn't have any influence from you guys. And then number 4, I had the WrestleMania one. Sorry, let me move this up because I think it's getting blocked by our logo. But the WrestleMania feud between Cody and Roman, which was Cody and his friends against Roman and the Bloodline, and ended in Cody finishing his story. So I put that at number 4. I don't know. Maybe I should put that above Liv and Rhea.
I would say so. That has to be above Liv. I thought it should be number 2, most likely.
It was short. Roman and Cody was short. It was only 2 months, from WrestleMania. Liv and Rhea have been going all year, and that's been
a little bit longer. But even it wasn't that. But it was so good. It was so good. The lead up to the WrestleMania was probably one of the best things they've done.
All right. Well, I'll just leave my list.
Okay, so Liv and Rhea has been going on all year, but a lot of it was delayed by injuries to Rhea. So I don't know if it would have still lasted this long without the injuries, but okay. It's on my top 5 too, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
All right, and then my number 5 is Swerve and Hangman, so I had to put him in the top 5, Vlad, just because that moment where they burnt his house down was monumentous, bro. I mean, you got to give it up for just a wild idea. That was just a wild idea, man, and it to me it was cool. So
that's one way of saying it. It's a wild idea. It's like it's a crackpot. It's a crackpot idea.
It's as wild an idea as you could think of, basically, but.
I'm trying to be nice to AEW. Remember, that's what I've been saying. So yes, it was a wild idea, baby. That's what it was. It was fantastic. Let's move on, please.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on to Vlad's top 5.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot to put your picture here. Damn it! I was supposed to put your picture. This is
Nobody
what Vlad
needs to see this. Nobody needs to see the smug. Trust me, it's okay.
All right. So Vlad's top 5 feuds of 2024. So, number 1, also Punk and McIntyre. So, we're in agreement there. So, 5 points for Punk and McIntyre. Number 2, so you gave the Roman versus Cody WrestleMania feud, number 2, 4 points. Yeah. And then Liv and Rhea, number 3. And then Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed, number 4. And then my list, this didn't make my list, was the OG Bloodline and Solo's Bloodline. Okay. So, there's the points awarded to our top feud of the year, and then the last one is Robert. So Robert, here's your top 5 feuds of 2024. Again, Punk and McIntyre. Damn, unanimous consensus. Number 2, Bloodline. versus Cody at WrestleMania, and Cody finishing his story. Number 3, War Games, OG Bloodline versus Solo's Bloodline. Number 4, Rhea and Liv. So all of us had pretty similar lists. Number 5, Swerve and Hangman. So me and
guys
Robert
agree.
we both got Swerve and Hangman.
And you both put it at 5.
Yeah.
I could see that in a sense, believe it or not. No, I don't particularly. I didn't like it, but there were some elements that were crazy, wild.
One particular element for sure.
Well, yes, but don't forget. Didn't they have a match where they were putting needles in each other's mouth? Wasn't that the same feud?
That was fucking wild too, bro.
That's pretty wild too. This whole thing was wild. I mean,
all right, so let's give our final standing. So I'm gonna give number 1 at the end, but number 2 didn't win Feud of the Year, but number 2. So with 10 points from the 3 of us, it's Cody against Roman and the Bloodline for WrestleMania. Number 3 with 8 points, Liv versus Rhea, and Dominic being involved in that and everything. Number 4 with 6 points, Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed. That's still pretty nice for them. I mean, shit, who the hell fucking thought Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed would end up the number 4 Feud of the Year? And then number 5, the OG Bloodline versus Solo's Bloodline with 4 points, and then Hangman and Swerve 2 points.
You still had to throw them in there, even though they didn't make top 5. You still had to put them that they were a part of this.
Well, they were the only. These are the only feuds that got votes to us. That's all I'm saying. Like, if there was anyone else who actually got even 1 point, I would have put it here. But yeah. The winner is Punk versus McIntyre with 15 points, and they get a trophy. So here's our trophy.
Oh, look at that. Nice.
Malapert Smark Feud of the Year is
send that to them.
CM Punk.
They'll be honored, man. They'll be honored.
Yeah, funny. Okay. All right. Well, that's that. That's our first Malapert Smark Award of the Year. We will give more out next week. So I'll work on that throughout the week. I'll give some candidates to Vlad and Robert, and I'll send them over, and we will discuss that next week. So, all right, I want to get to our topics for this week. So we got AEW and WWE to discuss. I got some storylines and some angles within those storylines that we got to get your opinions on. So let's run through these real quick. I know we got a late start, so we're not going to go into too much detail, but let's just see what we got today. So here we go. I got the show set up right here, nice and easy. I got all our storylines. So we're going to start with something from Raw from this past Monday, the 16th, which I did a live stream on. I don't know if you know this, Robert, but the morning after I live streamed my review of Raw, but it wasn't that detailed because it was too fresh to me, and I was just kind of talking about what happened. So I was kind of just mentioning you guys. I was like, all right, well, when we go to Sunday, we'll really get the opinions from the wrestling experts here, Vlad and Robert. So here we go. So Punk and Seth go at it, and Adam Pearce makes the match for Netflix for January 6th. So I'm going to go through some pictures here. And we're going to go through what happened, not in detail, but just a couple things. And so this has to do with Punk and Seth. So this is the feud with Punk and Seth. And some of it is going to have to do with Drew McIntyre later on, because Drew comes in and talks to Seth Rollins. But I'll get to that in a second. But I'll start with the in-ring segment. Robert, by the way, this is the new way I've been going through the segments. You know, it just saves me time. So, but yeah, we're going to go through some photos here for you people on YouTube. For anyone just listening, I'll try to describe what's happening best as I can. But CM Punk comes in to cut a promo, and he was talking all kinds of mad trash about Seth. I recall him saying, you know, I'm ready to train you now. I didn't want to train you back then, but I'll come train you now. Come down here right now, and I'll give you a schooling, right? Basically what he said. And Seth Rollins came in from the crowd, no music, but he was saying, what was the burn he gave Punk? That he said, maybe if I look at you at the same perspective as these fans do, that I would like you better. And he takes a look at him from the crowd. He goes, no, you're still an asshole.
I don't think that. To me, that wasn't the line that really burned CM Punk. It's the one where he says that he has more WrestleMania main events.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You see, at this point, it's already fucking Monday. This has been 6 days, so yeah, all right, good remembering, Robert. So,
Yes.
CM Punk, what did he retort with? He said it was fitting that Rollins was out there in the audience with the rest of the fans, which was kind of insulting to the fans in a weird way, but I don't know. Okay. Yeah, this is what Robert said. Robert said that this fan has more WrestleMania main events than Punk ever will. So yes, that got an O from the crowd. And yeah, that was basically where Punk said, "Fuck this, I'm going to attack this guy." And he went out, and that's where it popped off. They start fighting, and it's a big pull apart. Here's some pictures of the referees and everyone trying to pull these guys apart. And what happens later in the night? What happens later in the night? I want to jump to something else. Well, okay, so Adam Pearce, just to finish the storyline for the day, he talked to Rollins. Rollins is like, "Do something about this, fix this." And Pearce is like, "Give me a minute, I'll do something." But he promises to get something done. Tempers were flaring, very heated scene. And Drew McIntyre comes in, so this was weird. Doesn't really have much to do with this. But he tried to bond with Seth over their mutual hatred of Roman. But Seth wasn't really having it, right? So he wasn't. And he did kind of burn him. He said, "I'm going to do what you couldn't do, Drew, and I'm going to take care of CM Punk." Which was kind of weird because later in the night, it looked like Drew McIntyre, I don't know if you guys remember this, but it looked like he might attack Seth during Seth's interview, but he got blindsided by Sami Zayn. So I was thinking, like, did this burn really fucking cause Drew McIntyre to want to attack Seth Rollins? Because he could have just been marching over to Seth Rollins' direction to talk to him, but we never really got clarification on that. But regardless of that, to finish off the stuff with Seth and Punk, Adam Pearce is getting interviewed by Kathy Kelly, and he very proudly announced that for January 6th, which is coming up in the new year, on the next Netflix debut, that CM Punk will face Seth Rollins. So it's kind of surprising to me that they were going to face off on January 6th and not at the Royal Rumble or at WrestleMania, but they could also go again. But, this is the scene I talked about where Seth Rollins was getting interviewed, and if you see Drew McIntyre stomping towards him, very,
menacingly, maybe.
It seemed like he was going to attack him or do something to him. But I considered this a separate storyline. So on my review, on my Raw post, which I'll put in the description below, that's storyline number 7. So I'm going to just focus in on the Seth and Punk stuff and the Sami Zayn, Drew McIntyre stuff. If you want our reviews on that, you can go to our Raw post and you can see what we all thought of it. But for right now, I'll just get you guys' opinion on this this storyline for this episode. I'll limit your guys' review to just everything that happened on this episode between Punk and Rollins. So let's get some reviews. So I have our reviews right here for this this storyline from Raw. So Robert, the only one who gave it 2 thumbs up. Okay.
I thought about it. I definitely thought about it. Yep. Definitely.
Yep. Well,
thought.
Let me remind people the Malapert Smark rating system again. Sorry, I have my graphic. For those of you guys who don't know, this is how we rate storylines, angles, programs, whatever we're rating. And then me and Vlad, thumbs up. So we both liked it. Robert loved it. All right, who wants to go first? I guess I'll start with Vlad, the wrestling expert. Your thoughts on Punk and Seth, which was on our short list for Feud of the Year. Didn't get any points, but still, this is going pretty.
I think it's early. I think it could potentially win 2025 Feud of the Year if they they started strong at the end of 2024.
Yeah, you think they're going to go through all of 2025?
Well, no, but they could. No, not all of 2025, but they could still have the Feud of the Year in 2025. Is what I mean. But anyways, this was a great segment. Punk was fantastic to start the promo. Specifically his impression of Seth, I thought was
I forgot about that. That was so good.
That was fantastic. I laughed pretty hard. And I think he had some great lines, like, just because you wear Elton John's glasses doesn't mean you're Elton John, or just because you wear wrestling boots doesn't make you CM Punk. I thought that was a fantastic line. And as much as shit as I've given Seth, I thought he also had a nice burn, like you said, saying like, hey, you might want to call me a fan or this or that you trade me, but like, hey man, wrestled in more WrestleMania main events than you have. So what does that make you then, right? So far, like, it's getting good. I like where it's going. There's obviously, they've always seemingly been some tension as soon as Punk came back. So they've slowly had the pieces there already for this feud. And now that Punk is done with the Bloodline stuff, he's done with Drew, he can focus in on Seth. It's going to be great. I don't really want to rant and rave too much about it because we're just starting it. But so far, like, the first couple of weeks have been tremendous. So I'll leave it at that. Good stuff.
All right, Robert. I'm gonna put 90 seconds on the clock. If you want to use some of it or all of it, it's up to you. But let's hear your opinions on a storyline that you loved on the day. 2 thumbs up from Robert.
I did love this. I loved how CM Punk started it off, just like what Vlad mentioned, and the stuff that Seth replied with. And I don't generally consider myself a big Seth Rollins fan, but whenever he's involved in feuds, in particular with either CM Punk or Roman Reigns, he tends to do really, really good work. Maybe because he has legitimate, beef with
issues?
Both of them. Yeah, legitimate issues with both of them. Maybe that's what draws out, so much venom from him when he's doing promos against them. So, whenever he's in a feud with either one of them, he tends to do really, really good, and that's continued this past Monday. I love it. And then, as crazy as this sounds, I'm actually looking forward more to this match than the tribal combat between Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. Like, I didn't think I would say that, but it's true. I'm actually looking more forward to this one.
I think also because we don't really know the booking of how they're going to book this match. I think we have more of an idea of, or at least we are assuming we know the booking of the tribal.
True, that and I think it lost a lot of steam, that feud, because I don't know. So Solo hasn't looked too good these past few months because he kept on losing. His bloodline kept on losing. So yeah.
All right. Well, as you guys are saying, it's obvious that bloodline rule or tribal chief match. It's obvious Solo's going to win, right?
Well, that would be the surprise.
Yeah,
you know what I would say, but I don't know where they would
Solo
go.
has to win that, man. Solo has to win that. What the fuck are they gonna do with Solo if he loses? I guess he could just join Roman's bloodline. I
can only imagine. I can only imagine your reaction if he loses again.
Yeah, no, if he loses again, it's fine. Honestly, just end him and put him back into Roman's bloodline as the lackey. But if you want to have him have any chance of being legit, you gotta have him win this. Yeah, I think he's gonna win. I think I'm just
Solo, gonna say, like, win or lose, I want to see an appearance from The Rock.
Right, that's a good point, and I think that could be something that maybe if he's like somebody helps him win, I could see that happening. And if it's The Rock, well, that's an added bonus.
Yeah.
All right. I gotta move on, guys. Let me see what else I got. We did Punk and Seth. All right. Angle storyline number 3 for the night. From SmackDown, 12:20, KO won't return the Winged Eagle belt, proclaims himself the actual deserving champion. All right. So, what do we got? I got the programs involved in today's storyline, the bigger overall feud. It's Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. Okay, so synopsis. Let's go over some of this. Well, actually, it was just a promo. It was a KO promo. It was a video package where he just cut a promo saying, talking about how he took that Winged Eagle belt from Cody at Saturday Night's Main Event, which, Robert, you weren't here for our review of the Saturday Night's Main Event and the post-show, but after the show went off the air, KO kicked Cody's ass, stood over him while the paramedics were trying to put Cody in the what is it called, the gurney or whatever, and he stepped on Cody and he took his title belt, or the temporary title belt. So now he has a title belt that looks like the old WWF title belt, which is fucking awesome. And so I gave this segment, which this segment was pretty much all there was for this whole program in this episode. So KO promo, I gave it 2 thumbs up. Robert, you didn't. You haven't submitted a SmackDown review yet. It's okay.
I didn't watch SmackDown.
You didn't watch SmackDown. Okay, well, this was a good promo. If there's anything you should watch from SmackDown, I think it's this one. I wrote a comment. This program pulled me back in with this promo. Loved it. Perfect. I thought this was a fucking great way to advance this storyline. I didn't know where this was going, but the fact that he has that belt and he's proclaiming himself the real champion, I am digging it. I'm a big fan of this now. I guess, Vlad, I'll start with you again since you're the only one who saw this. And let's see. I'll put a minute and 30 on the clock. Please give us some thoughts. What was your thing again? Thumbs up. Yeah, okay. So I gave it 2 thumbs up.
I mean, yeah, it was a good promo. It's hard to really grade or gauge where the angle just based off this promo like you were. I guess you're saying that now you're back into it, and I'm not saying it's going to be bad or anything. I'm sure it's going to be really good still, but I couldn't tell just from this promo alone like you could, I guess. But yeah, this was cool. I like that actually the work that Owens is doing, reminding me a little bit of his work that I've seen a little bit of in Ring of Honor when he was, Kevin Steen and whatnot, right? So it's been solid. But the whole thing of him taking this belt that's not actually the belt is a little ridiculous because it's not. Well, because Cody will just be like, "Well, I have the actual championship," And yes,
yeah, but I thought. Sorry to interrupt you, but I thought it was a great way to do what you said, which was make Cody have to, win his title back without actually losing his title. Because he's going to be like, I got to win this belt back. You know what I mean? Even though it's not the actual belt, he's going to say, I got to have a match with you and I got to beat you and get that belt back. So I thought it was kind of a brilliant...
What do they do? Do they just have a ladder match where the both belts are at the top or something for the title or something like that?
I don't really... That's not a bad idea, Vlad. They need to hire your ass to be I didn't think of that, but no, I like that. But no, I think they could just have a match, and once KO loses, he's just gonna fucking lose that belt too. But all right, yeah. Robert, I know you didn't see this, but do you have any thoughts about how I know Saturday night's main event? You weren't here for that. I don't know if you saw it, or any comments you want to give about how this feud is going so far. Go ahead.
I wasn't pulled away from the feud. I was in. I'm not even hungry. I've been into it, so I don't know. I'll watch this promo at some point, maybe, and have thoughts on it. But I was already into the feud to begin with.
Yeah, if you have a chance to watch SmackDown, we don't have time to play it here today. We got an hour, and I'm trying to get through 10 angles here, so I'll move on. Let's see. What do we got next? All right, we're gonna jump to AEW, baby. Vlad's favorite part of the show, and this is a storyline that you not demanded, but requested that we talk about on the show. And it's from Dynamite Wednesday, December 18th, and it's the Hurt Syndicate, and they're basically been sort of running roughshod, not exactly since they got there, but they've been bullying people. They've been beating up kind of people in the back. It seems, right? Didn't they have a segment a couple weeks ago where they beat up some production guys and threw them into the wall backstage?
Yes, security people and all that.
Yeah, so they're not.
So they hurt people?
They do. They hurt people, but not like the top guys. They're kind of picking on like shrimpy guys, honestly. But okay, so the storylines we got involved, the programs we got involved in this storyline. The Hurt Syndicate have been recruiting people in AEW since they got there. And there's a little bit of this to do with the Continental Classic, which I'll get to in a second, because of the people involved, Ricochet, and the other people that the Hurt Syndicate get involved with here. Okay, so synopsis. Let's go through some of this scene by scene, and we'll see what Vlad had issues with, because Vlad usually has issues with AEW's illogical booking, I guess, and I'm curious to see.
And that was supposed to be nice. Sorry, I'll try.
All right, so this started with an interesting in-ring interview by Tony Schiavone for Ricochet, who has like a new personality. Robert, would you call him a heel now? He's kind of been like arrogant. Yeah, he has this new weird laugh, right?
Yeah. No.
Good God.
I don't know about that,
Good
but
God help
okay.
us.
It's Ricochet's personality coming out that WWE hid away, which it's gotten a lot of criticism actually that I've seen on
Hid away.
several
They try
shows.
but they try to protect him from himself, clearly. They didn't hide nothing.
Give the guy a chance to have a good time. Anyways, enter
He's having a
MVP
good time.
Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, the Hurt Syndicate. So Tony's interview with Ricochet regarding the Continental Classic is crashed by the Hurt Syndicate. And they come in, and they had given Ricochet a business card to recruit him, and he has never responded or anything. So here he is bullshitting, and they're listening to his bullshit. And basically they just grab him. Like Lashley grabs him and fucking humiliates him, basically. A lot of people say they buried Ricochet here, which I guess we'll talk about that a little later on after this. But okay, so they got Ricochet. They didn't really beat him up. They let him go. Here he is leaving. He's like, all right. And then so more Hurt Syndicate business. I'll just go over everything that happened with them on this show real quickly before we get Vlad's comments. So Continental Classic. Shelton Benjamin's in that, and he defeated the Beast Mortos. So he got a win, and then afterwards, the Hurt Syndicate attacked Beast Mortos. So they're just they're doing their heel thing, right? They're running roughshod, as you call it, just not giving a fuck. So they start beating up Beast Mortos, and other people from the Continental Classic and AEW come to defend Beast Mortos, including Daniel Garcia and Mark Briscoe. And they go in there 2-on-2, and they get their ass kicked too. So basically, the Hurt Syndicate come out on top on this night. They beat up Daniel Garcia and Mark Briscoe, and here's Benjamin holding up Daniel Garcia's TNT title. So reviews, Robert. Oh, did you? I didn't put your review on this.
I don't remember.
Hold on.
Should I give it?
Let me pull that up.
I think he did send it though.
Yo, he did send it. I forgot to put it in at the end. It's okay. All right, so Dynamite. This is storyline number 12. So Robert gave this also a thumbs down. So, okay. So 3 thumbs downs. All right. Sorry about that, Robert. I will add your reviews to this post show. But okay. So this was also a thumbs down from Robert. All right. So Vlad. What happened here? Is it the Ricochet thing? What? I'm gonna go to you first. Next time, I'm definitely starting with Robert. But what did you want to say about? What did you want to say about this? That you said I have a lot of comments on this.
Well, but I'll try to keep it brief. Okay, so Ricochet is now a heel, but here's a guy. And she's just introducing this heel persona. But here's a guy that I don't see how you can make him a heel because he's liked by most fans for his in-ring work because of his style, and he has no personality whatsoever. He's one of the most blandest, worst promos I've ever seen. Now, I know I said Jay White is the worst promo in the business. I said that previously. No, I think Ricochet is the worst promo in the business, and it's not even close. So I don't know how you can make this guy a heel because he's just not interesting, or he can't pull it off. But anyways, so then he comes out here to introduce this new persona, basically to introduce it, and he gets humiliated by the Hurt Syndicate. They snatch him up and just send him on his way like he's a piece of shit, basically. And he's begging off like, oh no.
He's like he's ignoring it. He's no selling. He no sells the bullying, and he just goes to the back, and they ask him about it. He's like, whatever, I'm gonna talk about something else, right? So I don't know. That's a little weird, I guess, right?
Well,
yes.
Well, the weird thing is with the whole thing with bringing him in, they've had him lose like so many times already. Like it was supposed to be a big signing. This WWE guy came in, and nonstop. He's just been getting his ass kicked by everybody. I mean, I guess that's enough to make him be a heel, but I'm just not seeing what they're doing with this guy, and I can't make sense of it. None of this is a great look for anybody, as far as I can tell, but especially Ricochet. So I'll leave it at that because my time is up. I don't want to rant and rave too much. So this was not good.
Listen, I know it looks like a Ricochet burial, But we will discuss something good that happened with Ricochet later in the week. He got a big win. So, okay,
Oh
yeah,
God.
I know. It's really not making sense. But, Robert, before we move on to the Ricochet Will Ospreay match at the Hammerstein Ballroom, do you have any comments on this scene here?
Just a couple things. So my thumbs down was mostly for the Ricochet segment, not the Daniel Garcia Beast Mortal stuff. So my first impression or my first thoughts when it was apparent that he was showing like a new heel persona, I remembered the week prior. I don't remember if it was Dynamite or yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Dynamite the week before or 2 weeks ago. He had a match against one of the members of House of Black. I forgot his name. That really big guy.
Brody
King.
Brody King. And I heard the fans booing Ricochet in that match. So I was like, did they turn him heel because the fans were already booing him? That was my first initial thoughts, but I wasn't sure. But that's what I was thinking. About the laugh that you mentioned.
I forgot about that. Yes.
So
that was it.
There's a rapper named Jadakiss. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him.
I've heard of Jadakiss.
Okay.
So Jadakiss has a signature laugh that you hear in almost all of his songs, and then so Ricochet's laugh, if you want to call it that, to me sounds like a really bad impersonation of the Jadakiss laugh. I don't know if that's where he took the inspiration from, but it didn't sound good. But I don't mind the heel turn. What really my thumbs down is that they made him look like a punk, like the way he was getting bullied by the Hurt Business. Like he just like let them do whatever they want. Like, come on, man. It made him look weak. I don't care if heel or not, but he looked weak right there. So
yeah, especially considering they're actually in a way pushing him. So this might be a double segment that I'll put together when I release it as a clip. Because the next one, I've designed the show this way that we're going to talk about Ricochet's next
real
match.
quick, before we get to that, did he have a match that he lost on Dynamite 2 or no? Or was it the week before? Ricochet. Not that week. No, I don't have that on the list of. Not this week. Okay. No, it's not. It's not on the Dynamite. It might have been the week before. Maybe it was the week before then that you lost. Okay.
You want to see the programs list? By the way, if you guys go to our review blog, I have all our list of angles. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but if you click on any of them now, it goes straight to that angle. Did you know that, Robert?
That. Yeah, I saw that. Wait.
That's pretty dope. Anyway, so let me move on. So moving on to Collision. So the Collision review is the only one that I haven't gotten to yet. So I have not watched Collision yet, but I watched some of it today while I was taking a shower. So I have a TV in my bathroom, and I'm a very busy guy. I was taking a shower, getting ready to work. So I don't have a review ready of Collision, but I do have some images. So let me pull up a couple images of the Hammerstein Ballroom. Let me see. TV. Where's my TV? There it is. All right. You guys see that?
Yeah.
All right. So Ricochet, the very next Saturday, and I think this is recorded, if I'm not mistaken, after Final Battle, after Ring of Honor, because I don't think they paid for 2 nights. But anyways, the Hammerstein Ballroom, it looks really good. This is the Continental Classic. Ricochet against Will Ospreay.
I think it was a live show. I think this was live.
It was? Yeah. Okay, well that sucks, because it would have been better if it was after Final Battle, because Final Battle really sucked. Like they sent the fans home sad in Final Battle. All the heels won. It was bullshit. But anyways, so Collision, big taping, and Ricochet versus Ospreay at the Hammerstein Ballroom, and it looked good. I mean, that's a great arena.
Good.
I really like that arena. Yes,
I was gonna credit them for that.
Yes. All right. So let me see. I guess I'll play a little bit of the showboating from
getting to Ricochet, who usually doesn't let anything.
This is the new Ricochet, huh? He doesn't give a fuck anymore. And then he used a heel tactic to win. So he kicked the referee's ass right here, which caused Will Ospreay to fall down. And believe it or not, Ricochet picks up a win over Will Ospreay, who had just lost to fucking Darby Allin on Impact.
Yeah.
Yes, so, not on Impact, on Dynamite. So very impressive victory for Ricochet, although he cheated. But another disappointing match for Will Ospreay. So Ricochet, who we just talked about getting buried on Dynamite by the Hurt Syndicate, gets a big win against Will Ospreay, who has just lost 3 big matches, getting buried nonstop, losing to Fletcher, losing to Darby, which I thought was a great fucking match, by the way. The Darby Ospreay match might have been my match of the week, although this was pretty good too. But I'm going to give a minute and a half to Robert here. And this is your forte. You like this style of wrestling, and I want to know what you thought of this match. Let's see the Ricochet, Ospreay, and Collision from the Hammerstein Ballroom.
The match was cool. I don't have a problem with the match. It's the result. It's the booking.
He cheated, though. It wasn't a clean victory.
I know, but this is the 3rd straight loss for Will Ospreay. I mean, we're talking about the guy that fought MJF earlier this year, and was it All In, All Out? I forget the name of that big pay-per-view. And now he loses 3 straight. I can understand, he wants to put his friend over, Kyle Fletcher. I get that. But then he loses to Darby Allin, who, Darby Allin couldn't beat Jack Perry, couldn't beat John Moxley.
Brody King.
Yeah, right? Like,
Claudio.
Will Ospreay couldn't beat Darby Allin, and then now he loses to a guy that I had just a few minutes ago just said that he looked like a punk in the previous episode of Dynamite. I'm like, what are you guys doing to Will Ospreay, man? Like, this makes no sense.
It's a great point. It's a great point.
I have no idea what they're doing.
Well, what do you make of the weird booking of Ricochet too? Because we just talked about him getting buried, and then now he's getting a win over Will Ospreay. So what the fuck?
I don't know.
All right, so we're just confused by the Tony Khan booking, but that's fine. All right, Vlad, go ahead. This is our last topic in our top 5 topics of the day. So, minute and a half for you. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm with both of you, especially with Robert, in the sense of what the hell is going on here. Like, this booking is, I don't even know what to make of it. Because, first of all, they bring in Ricochet, and they pretty much had him lose 5-6 matches. Okay, so they made me think that they don't think that highly of him, or they're not going to push him. Okay, they turn him heel, but he kind of looks like a piece of shit as he's doing it. Okay, that's fine. And then Will Ospreay has continued to lose match after match. Now, look, I'm not the biggest Ospreay fan like you guys are. I know you guys like him way more than I do, but I don't think he should be losing to these people, because I don't think he's gotten over as much as he should in this company yet. To have him lose these matches as your number 1 attraction, maybe next to MJF, I would say right now they're supposed to be 1A, 1B in a sense, and he's lost to Fletcher, he lost to Darby, and he lost to Ricochet, for God's sakes. That was the worst one. Now, I think the problem is Tony thinks he's trying to prove a point with this tournament. Like, anybody could beat anybody. It's a wild tournament. These guys are all equal. No, motherfucker, they're not. They're not supposed to be all equal. You're supposed to have top stars for a reason. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I can't be nice about this one. This is
true.
Your top guys are your top guys, and if they're not, if everybody's all the same, then what are we doing here? I don't know. I'm just I can't.
But Robert, nice match though, right? I mean, the moves, nice moves.
It was fun to watch. I mean, it was what I expected it to be. So it's just the result wasn't what I expected.
All right, moving along then. Let me move along. I'm going to move the clock to 1 minute now, and we're going to try to rush through the rest of the show. And let's see what other topics we got. I got maybe a few more topics and a few honorable mentions, and we could get out of here. So, SmackDown, I wanted to mention this. So we're going back to Friday the 20th. So Drew McIntyre, he had a summit. He showed up to Solo Sikoa's segment. So Solo was going to try to cut a promo and, get the crowd to acknowledge him, which was pretty hard. It's a pretty hard task for him at this point. But Drew comes in, and man, Drew McIntyre's been killing it. What was it the previous Sunday? It was Jimmy Uso was talking, right? And he
attacked him while he was with crutches, yeah.
Yeah, he attacked Jimmy Uso. So here he comes in and talks to Solo, who is backed up by Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga. And I just really like this because it just set up what's going on with Drew and the Bloodline, and he's been feuding with Roman's Bloodline, but he's like, Solo, you were in the Bloodline when I was getting screwed, so I really should have something to fuck with you about. But he said, since you're against Roman, maybe not. So basically the conclusion was that he said, I'm going to I'm not going to feud with you, and I'll deal with Roman, and then we'll deal with that after. So he just put it on pause. But it was kind of like a truce. It was like, you know what? We're not going to fuck with each other. And then Jimmy Uso came out of nowhere with his bad leg and still fucking took Drew McIntyre out with a crutch. And then LA Knight and Cruz and Andrade came in, but that's a separate storyline. So if you want to go on our SmackDown review, you can do that. I'll put that in the description below, and you can see what we thought of every storyline. But for this storyline, all right, Robert didn't watch SmackDown, I know, but I gave this 2 thumbs up, and Vlad gave this 2 thumbs up. So Robert, do you have any thoughts? Or yeah, Vlad gave this a thumbs up. I'm sorry. Bleh. Okay, so Vlad liked it. I loved it. Robert, do you have any comments before I move on to Vlad? Just from what I told you, I know you didn't see it yet, but
it sounds like something I would have, at the very least, given 1 thumbs up for. But I don't know. I wouldn't know until I see it. But it sounded good.
I know. Well, thank you for coming on, Robert. I know even though you don't watch all the shows, it's still like you could still come on and just hang out with us. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter too much. But all right, I'm gonna move on to Vlad then. So Vlad, since you did see it, you got any comments for us on Drew McIntyre and Solo from SmackDown?
Yeah, I mean, just on the one thing that you said, man, Drew McIntyre is so good. Like, he's been killing it for a while now, man. He is, I think it's safe to say, he's one of my favorite wrestlers in, like, right now in wrestling. Like, he is just on fire. I don't know where this, like, happened, like, how this happened. I mean, some are saying that maybe it's when, as soon as Vince was out of the way, creatively, things opened up for him. Maybe so, because for a while now, he's just been absolutely slaying it, destroying it. Everything he touches is gold. He's on the mic. He's incredible. His matches are all very, very good. And this was another really good segment, you know, where he made sense, and then he's still feuding with the original Bloodline, you know, taking out Sammy, injuring, or further injuring Jimmy, but then Jimmy comes back here. I'm enjoying this whole thing. So, but mostly I'm enjoying Drew's work here, that specifically.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear, Vlad. You see, that's what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear some agreement with me. Yes, you did a good job choosing this storyline to talk about on the show today. All right, moving along.
Well, I didn't say all that, but yes, I guess I agree.
But shit, I'm praising Drew McIntyre too. Let me tell you that much. But I'm gonna move on. So, 7th topic of the day. This is from Dynamite. We're jumping all over the place today. But Toni Storm is back from a few weeks ago. She came back as not the timeless Toni Storm, the old Toni Storm character. I guess she's like a rocker girl or something. I don't know. But anyways, so the overall program, I have come up with a new name for this program now for the overall storyline. It's Toni Storm returns with amnesia. I guess they're running an amnesia angle here because she doesn't remember shit. So RJ City is interviewing her like, hey, you remember this, and they're like, hey, she's like, basically she's acting like she's a brand new wrestler and coming in for the first time, and nothing has ever happened with Mariah May or anything, and RJ City's just like, what the fuck? Okay, so that's the storyline. Reviews. All right, what the fuck was Robert's review on this? Hold on. This is storyline number. Oh, this is the last one. Let me see. Robert, do you have your review for the 13th storyline on this episode of Dynamite? Half thumbs up. Okay, so you're a half thumbs up. Let me remind people.
Yeah, that's right.
Let me remind people of the Malapert Smark rating system. A half thumbs up is an unenthusiastic Orange Cassidy-like half thumbs up. So it doesn't mean they really, really liked it, but enough to give it some type of positive rating. Vlad made a comment over here. I'll take off the ratings. And Vlad's comment was, this is so stupid that it's funny. So Vlad gave it a half thumbs up. Robert gave it a thumbs up. Me, I'm the only one who gave it half thumbs up. I'm sorry. Robert, half thumbs up. Vlad, half thumbs up. And then me, a thumbs down. Because I'm not digging this whole thing where she just doesn't remember shit. Like, what the fuck? I don't know. I kind of just think it's I don't want to say a stupid storyline.
Well, it
But
is. Or you could say it's stupid.
It is. I mean, I don't want to put it that way. I mean, but come on. Okay, I'm gonna start with Robert. So, Robert, do you have any comments on Toni Storm's return and how they're handling this?
All right, on paper, if you were like to describe it to me, yes, this is really, really dumb. But I have to give praise to Toni Storm. She's like really, she's acting it out really well. She's like all in on her performance as an Amnesia,
right.
basically. So that's why I like it. And she's kind of reminding me of right now, like a younger. Like a younger Chris Jericho, you know how he usually every like couple of years or so he reinvents his gimmick, right, and comes up with something new and a whole different persona. And back in those days, he was really good at it. So Toni Storm is kind of giving me that type of vibe, and I'm giving it a half thumbs up because she's like really committed to her. Whatever role she's playing, she's like fully committed to it, and that's what I like about it.
Okay, I like that.
I agree with that.
That's a good way to put a positive spin on it. All right, Vlad, you go ahead.
Well, I agree with that. I agree with that part. Whatever role she's playing, she's definitely all in on it. She's not half-assing it. But the reason this is stupid and hilarious at the same time is, okay, so the whole thing is that she has amnesia and she doesn't remember being timeless Toni Storm. But how come she doesn't remember ever being in AEW before? Like, because she didn't come in as timeless Toni Storm. That whole part makes no sense. Like, okay, she should remember these wrestlers that she's wrestled previously, you know, right?
That's
like, why doesn't she?
Great analysis, Vlad. That's the type of expert level analysis that I'm looking for here.
I have to actually use whatever's left of my brains.
Yeah, you're like, okay, they're trying to do some stupid storyline here, and you're like, okay, I'll roll with that. But within the confines of this stupid storyline, you're seeing logical flaws. All right, good.
I mean, what's happening here? Okay, but look, I do credit Toni Storm for the timeless Toni Storm character was hilarious at times. I think this is going to be hilarious too, but I don't know if this is going to be like somebody said this is going to be. I was reading a YouTube comment on one of the videos that you had from last week on her return, that it's going to be genius or something, and I just commented that there's no way this is going to end up going well because this is going to end up. This is AEW after all, So, anyways, yeah.
All right. I gotta move on. I'm trying to rush to the end of the show here. So
yeah. Let's see.
Where were we at? We're on storyline number 7. Okay, storyline number 8. Another thing from Collision. So I haven't completed my Collision review post, but I do got a couple of images that I could pull up on the screen. So Adam Cole and MJF, another big scene at the Hammerstein Ballroom. So Robert, you did say you watched all of Collision, right? I didn't see all of it. I'm still in the process of watching the last hour, but I did see this scene with MJF and Adam Cole, which is supposedly this storyline, this program, whatever, this feud is supposed to be coming to an end at World's End finally. But they did have what I thought was a decent segment in front of a nice hot crowd, and they had a chance to kind of wrap this thing up with a bow tie, and I thought it was okay. I mean, okay, I jumped to Adam Cole nailing MJF, but they had some good back and forth insults, right? Then MJF said, "I heard that you're not seeing your dentist anymore."
Yeah,
that got a nice O from the crowd. So,
well, the thing is, nobody's seeing the dentist anymore as far as viewers, so that's another issue altogether. But
yeah, what's up with Britt Baker? But that's a story for another day. But anyways, so Adam Cole ended up nailing MJF, and I think security came out and tried to pull him apart, and then MJF got a low blow in on Adam Cole before Adam Cole's stablemates came in, the Undisputed Kingdom, to run off MJF. All right, do you guys have any comments? Robert, do you have any comments on this scene at the Hammerstein Ballroom for MJF and Adam Cole, and are you looking forward to World's End at all?
Yeah, yes, I am looking forward to World's End. I don't have too much to say about this. I thought this was a decent segment. They both got in a few burns on each other. So, yeah, it was, I don't know what I would have given it. Maybe a half thumbs up, probably. It was cool.
All right. I would have given it a thumbs up. But also, Vlad, like you said earlier, I think the environment and the look of the show gave it an extra spice. So what do you have to say about this?
Yeah, I mean, for the first time in a while, as bad as both Dynamite and Collision have been, Collision was the better show by, I think, almost I would say by far. Just which is kind of sad for Dynamite, but at the same time, good for Collision, I suppose, because of the atmosphere. I think this is there have been a lot of wrestling in this arena, right? ECW used to be here all the time, Ring of Honor shows and whatnot. So it is kind of for a small venue. It's kind of a nice stadium, right? Or a nice arena, I should say. But this was a pretty good segment. Got some insults in, but obviously the feud.
What? MJF said, let me get a comment from you. MJF said he finally revealed I would have turned on you if I had eventually. That was like
at this point, nobody cares. That's the problem. If he did, if he would have, or if he didn't, it doesn't even matter, dude. That was last year, and this he would never needed to be rekindled in the first place. It should have just ended when he came back and gave him that low blow and whatever, and just send him on his way. Like nobody really wants to see this. I mean, I'm not excited for this match. I mean, there might be some matches for World's End that might be worth watching potentially, but I'm just happy that it's going to be over. Hopefully by this. Hopefully they don't come up with anything else crazy that will continue it, and then it will be over.
Yeah, and MJF should be in the world title scene, I guess. Who's the champion? Moxley? I mean,
you keep asking. You keep asking.
Because I never see the belt. Like the champion's supposed to.
Because they have it inside the briefcase or whatever.
That's so stupid. Honestly, I literally forgot Moxley's a champion. But okay.
Yeah.
Moving along. Let me get this TV out the way. Let me go back to my blog, and we can get our last two angles out the way. All right. So the last two angles we got, or the last two storylines, are from NXT. Robert might know more about this than Vlad, but Vlad, I still want your opinion on something that happened on NXT. So Eddie Thorpe.
Not this guy again. Oh, God. I thought we were done with him.
Well, he pulled a swerve. I don't know if you guys know this. No one ever really attacked him. He fucking staged it himself. So he didn't compete in Iron Survivor, and he got a title match out of it. So fucking genius, all right? And now he's got a new heel persona. He's got an earring and everything. So it's kind of funny. Actually, Vlad, this segment where they revealed it was a swerve, it didn't make the error. Like an AEW style, like it got cut off at the end. And I didn't catch it on social media. But
it was at the very end of the show?
It was at the very end of the show. Yeah, I didn't even notice it on my review of the previous week's NXT. I didn't have it on there because I didn't know it happened. So
I watched it live, so I saw it. So
you saw it?
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh man, for some reason the video I had didn't have it. So okay, so I didn't know about it. But this is where he revealed to Ava, and this is his new heel persona, and Ava's all pissed, like
What is that around his neck? What is that?
I think it's like a Native American. It looks like a Native American thing.
He's Native American.
I think.
Gotcha.
But yeah, Ava went into this pissed off that she got swerved. So this is the good, funny little Ava face. But okay, so Trick Williams has Oba Femi, breathing down his neck if he wins this.
Yeah.
So the match was Eddie Thorpe against Trick Williams for the NXT title. Okay, and I want to show you the finish. Well, I have pictures of it. I don't have a video, but it looked good. There was a ref bump. Okay, here's a ref bump. I think Trick Williams' feet went into the ref. You guys can see that. And then, so there's no ref. So Eddie Thorpe looked like he won. So Robert, in my opinion, Eddie Thorpe is the real champion, regardless of the finish. But the finish here was weird because after the ref gets up, the second ref, by the way, came in way too late. The match continues. There was a trick shot. So this is knee to the face, which is Trick's knee finishing move. And then Trick from there does that thing where he falls on Thorpe, but his shoulders are down. You see that, Vlad? So, yes. And then I guess Thorpe got one arm around him. So his arm right there is on him. And then there's two refs in the ring. So this ref is looking at Thorpe. This ref is looking at Trick. And then this ref doesn't see that Thorpe's leg is under the rope. So Thorpe is not getting pinned. His leg is under the rope. So they named Trick the champion, but then the refs are like talking to each other like, what the fuck? And then Ava comes in and that's how they end the show. So we still don't have really a confirmation on what the hell's going on here. So that's probably how the next episode will end. But all right, Robert, what do you think of this finish with a double?
Okay.
I've seen this finish before where they do this.
Right. Yeah, I've seen it too.
Let's hear your thoughts.
Okay. Just looking at the finish itself, I'm not a fan of finishes like that, right? But in this case, context is important, right? Like leading up to this, I remember in one of the episodes a few weeks back when we were going over an angle involving Eddie Thorpe. I said I don't really care because I don't care about Eddie. I don't know who Eddie Thorpe is, so I don't really care about this. But then after that reveal where he basically swerved Eva into giving him a title match. That he staged it all. Now I'm like, hey, you know what? This is actually interesting. I'm kind of digging this angle, right? And then knowing that there was this match would determine who goes up against Obafemi next. I was thinking like, it's man, if Eddie Thorpe loses after all that just happened, it would be a shame, right? So. An interesting angle comes up, and it would have sucked that it just ended on that night. So because of that, as context, I don't actually mind this finish. Typically, I don't like this, but this time it was okay for me because I kind of like to see where they go from here.
All right, so look at that. Robert gave it a half thumbs up, and I had a thumbs down for that. Well, I just think it's really silly when Trick lands on Eddie Thorpe like that. It's just like it doesn't seem like something that would ever fucking happen. Vlad, I know you didn't see the match, but what do you think of this picture? Look, give a comment on this picture, please. Come on, this just looks too super ridiculous. Like everything with Eddie Thorpe, I loved. I love the swerve. I love his new gimmick coming out, but I just didn't like this ending. So, Vlad, do you have any comments?
I mean, I've seen finishes like this before done in wrestling. I don't know enough about this Eddie Thorpe guy that they should use it on him or not. From what I saw, what you showed me last week, there's two big guys, Trick Williams and Obafemi, and this little piece of shit guy. But also, they're using this kind of weird finish on him. I don't really know enough about this guy to say he's good or he's bad. From what I've seen, I would say he's kind of more of an annoyance than a guy that could be pushed as a superstar. I don't know, especially when you have Trick Williams and Obafemi who look like two legit badasses when they be fighting each other, you would think. But I don't have a problem with
this finish on him. Why would you use this finish on anybody anywhere? Like, I just have a problem with, like, maybe Trick is laying there.
Well, right. Maybe they could have done it differently as far as the positioning of how the wrestlers were going to be. Because I've seen somewhere that where both guys were pinned and stuff like that, and it kind of made a little bit more sense. You're right. Maybe here the way Trick would be impossible to get in that position in the first place. Like, how is that even possible? I didn't see the match to say if it looked organic or natural. It probably, what you're saying is it didn't. Right? There's no way he could ever get in that position after landing that move, right? Is that what you're basically saying?
I mean, it just seems like so super lucky that he just hits his trick shot and then falls on top of Eddie Thorpe where his shoulders are down on the mat. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, well, let me move along then. Last angle of the day, last storyline. And I'm not really going to go through this storyline too much for the storyline, but I just want to talk about the blood. I don't know, Vlad, if you saw the pictures of what happened with JeVon Evans.
No. And
Ethan Page. So Ethan Page is doing his sulking. Actually, this scene in the beginning was really fucking funny because Ethan Page was coming out all depressed to the show, and JeVon Evans just jumps in front of him like the exact opposite, like happy as a bird, enthusiastic about life and everything, and jumps on the counter and is dancing with the fans. So this leads to something with JeVon and Ethan. So I don't know if Ethan was mad about, probably about JeVon Evans getting, bumping into him. So he bumps into JeVon Evans here, goes to the ring to cut a promo, cuts a really sad promo, uses the Shawn Michaels line that about how he's lost his smile and everything, which I thought was douche-chillingly bad, but okay. And then JeVon Evans comes in trying to be a nice guy, trying to encourage him, trying to tell him all the good stuff he's done, only for Ethan Page to nail him in the face. And then he does the steel chair thing where he sets up the steel chair on his neck, and I forgot what he does. Does he kick him or steps on him? Yeah, he steps on the chair, and then this is the image. It's blood. It's blood spewing out of JeVon Evans' mouth.
God.
Pretty over the top.
That wasn't real blood. People had one of those. Oh, come on, man.
Well, they've been using this kind of a lot lately. Like Darby Allin had an interview where he started bleeding from the mouth the other day too. Remember, he was socking himself in the face, and he started spewing. If I was
Darby Allin, I'd probably be punching myself in the face too. But
all right, I'll start with Robert since Robert's our resident NXT expert.
Yes.
What did you think of the blood here? Is this too much or what? Is this?
It was a bit much, but when I reviewed this angle, I wasn't focused on the blood. I was focused on the angle.
No, me too.
Which I did love, but I did think if we're gonna just talk about the blood, yes, I do think it was a bit excessive.
That's too much blood. Like, how is that much blood gonna come out of you, bro? That's that's too much. Right. Anyways, Vlad, do you have any comments on the use of these like blood packs in the mouth or something, or is this too much? Here's our ratings, by the way. Robert, 2 thumbs up.
Well, was it supposed to? If it was around his neck, why is he bleeding? Was it supposed to? How did they? I don't understand. Maybe I'm just not understanding how these. It's hard for me to gauge or judge this based on just these photos, but it looks ridiculous. It looks absurd. Because if he's got it around his neck, like you showed, yeah. But unless you're saying it somehow caught him in the jaw and mouth, I guess it's possible, but not that amount of blood. There's no way he could have that amount of blood unless somebody was physically cutting his mouth.
I mean, they definitely are doing blood now. Like there was a while where WWE wouldn't do blood, right? Like it was not allowed, even when it was a blood feud or something. So now there's blood fucking all the time everywhere. But all right, that's all I have to say about that. I didn't really want to focus on the angle, but Robert did give the storyline 2 thumbs up there, and I gave it a thumbs up still. And that's all I have for today. So that's our 10 topics, but I do want to give some honorable mentions real quick. Let's see what I gave honorable mentions to. So FTR on Dynamite. So I don't know if you remember that they got kidnapped on Collision, and they left it at that. So this was the follow-up. The follow-up was we saw them hanging out in some living room talking about what happened. And they said that the Death Riders just beat their ass, left them in the parking lot, and left them for dead. Right? Robert, yes, did you see this? I think you saw that. They left them for dead, and they were basically saying while they were laying there in the cold, left for dead, that they were thinking about their life and, wrestling and everything. And in the end, they want to fight Death Riders at Fight for the Fallen on January 1st. I guess it's the mother of all simulcasts, right, Vlad? On Max.
Yes, it's going to be on Max.
Fight for the Fallen. So, all right, I'm giving this FTR promo an honorable mention because, let me see, I gave this, what did Robert give this on his review?
I don't remember.
Hold on, let me look that up. Sorry. Storyline number 4. Half thumbs up from Robert, thumbs up from me, and Vlad with a thumbs down. But I don't know. I thought as a follow-up to getting kidnapped, them revealing that they just got left in the cold and left for dead by Death Riders was just a really fucking funny image to me in my head. So, all right, I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that. And FTR fighting them at Fight for the Fallen, that's fine too. But all right. My other honorable mention, let me see. What else do I got? Carmelo Hayes and Braun Strowman. I thought this was like the fucking funniest thing on SmackDown. So Carmelo Hayes, who got beat by Braun Strowman the week before, stepped up to Braun Strowman, who was on the Grayson Waller effect. So Braun Strowman came out as Santa Claus, and he was getting ready to beat Grayson Waller's ass when Carmelo Hayes came out. And dude, I don't know why, but when Carmelo Hayes came out and just started talking shit, Robert, I just had this smile on my face. He just really made me like kind of happy to see him. I'm really liking Carmelo Hayes. That's why he's in my honorable mentions. I want to give him a shout out. But the finish to this match, do you remember the finish to this match, Vlad?
Dude. A little I care about this. No.
Okay,
I think Carmelo won by or DQ or something.
Count out. So basically, Robert, Carmelo Hayes slapped the shit out of Braun Strowman. And Braun Strowman's like, what the fuck? And then he grabs him, and he's pissed off, and he throws Carmelo Hayes into the ring. So Carmelo Hayes is in the ring, and then the referee counts 10 right at that second. So that's how the countout happened. Literally right there. And Carmelo Hayes had this smile on his face like, oh shit, I won. And then, obviously, Braun Strowman is pissed the fuck off because he just got smacked in the face. So he's running after Carmelo Hayes, and he chases him to the back. And this doesn't end because they're going to go backstage, and Carmelo Hayes is just fucking running away. Right? And he bumps into Legado del Fantasma. So Santos and everyone from Legado del Fantasma, he bumps into them. He's like, get out of my way. I got to get out of here. And he just gets away, and Braun Strowman is still chasing him. So, Legado's like, he went that way. And he follows him, and he bumps into Pretty Deadly. And Pretty Deadly still, they want him to be in the musical or something. And as soon as he said, fuck your musical, that's when Carmelo Hayes hit him from behind with a steel chair and talked shit. And then he fucking said, what about that, huh? What about that? I don't know. This made me fucking laugh like crazy. But he's going to get murdered. He is going to get murdered by Braun Strowman. So our reviews on this, Vlad didn't think anything of this. Vlad gave this an indifferent. I gave this a 2 thumbs up. I don't know why, but this just made me laugh the whole time. Vlad, I don't think has any comments on this. You didn't see it, so I'm going to move on. My last honorable mention, I think, is from the New Day, because the New Day was for 2 weeks in a row the segment of the week for us. So I guess we do have to kind of give them some kind of follow-up, right? The heel turn and the week before that when they had that thing with Xavier and Kofi arguing together. So on this day, they're trying to go to the locker room, and Rey Mysterio tells them, you're not welcome here, right? You got to leave. So I thought it was a little segment on Raw. They weren't very prominent, but I liked it. So there you go. Rey Mysterio in the locker room. Don't want New Day dressing with them. Go somewhere else. You have any comments on the New Day's segment here? Anybody? Or should I move on from here?
It's now developing a little slowly, but I think so far, so good. We'll see what happens with them. Obviously, as you said, we were very fond of 2 of the segments that aired on Raw, and we'll see what happens next.
All right, and then my last thing I want to mention real quick is from Raw also, which both of you guys didn't really have a comment on what this could be, but there's like a little...
I didn't even see it.
A little video package with the number 0 with a line through it, and people are trying to guess who it could be. So
0 with a line through it.
A 0. Well, to me, the best I could come up with is if you have a 0, right? And then what if you just put it down like that? Cero miedo, güey.
Oh my god.
Cero miedo.
Wow.
Is it Penta? Is Penta coming to WWE without Rey Fenix?
We don't know. Maybe.
But
would they really have the whole video package for Penta? No, for Penta. Just for Penta?
Well, I'm hearing they are going to bring Penta in without Rey Fenix, and that's why Rey Fenix got so pissed off that he went on that Twitter tirade against Tony Khan, talking shit that he's just holding him hostage, basically, which I agree with the wrestlers, man. Don't hold the wrestlers hostage, man. Do what's best for wrestling. I know me and Vlad disagree with this, but if Rey Fenix and if the Lucha Brothers can help WWE, I think that's good overall for wrestling, and I think that helps AEW. If WWE is successful, that helps AEW because it makes people want to watch wrestling. So, all right, that's all I got to say. I think for the most part, we're done. Let me go back to our main page. I want to thank Vlad and Robert for coming on. I know it's a little late. I probably kept you 15 minutes longer than I should have, but I had technical difficulties to start the show. But we did pretty well after we started recording, so I think this turned out to be a good recording. I'm happy with it. Let me remind people to subscribe. We're on the road to 500 subscribers, honestly.
Yes.
And I would be very happy if we got there. My dream, honestly, is to do this as a job. my job, and I think most jobs fucking suck and are boring, man. But I do see people who are on here analyzing wrestling, and that's all they do, and that's how they make a living. And honestly, that's my dream, man. I hope to be one of those people one day. That would be awesome. That is really literally my number one overall dream in the world. So if you subscribe and if you watch and hit like, I think that helps us somehow overall. I do got to give some plugs. Go to our YouTube posts. That's where me and Vlad and Robert review every storyline from all the shows. So if we miss something here that you're interested in, we couldn't talk about it. We only have an hour with Vlad and Robert every week. So go to our YouTube posts. I also look out for my other show this week in TNA. I do TNA completely different from this show. And I'm trying to live stream more often. I don't know. I can't promise when I have time or energy to do that, but just look out for that as well. And I think that's it. All right, cool. Vlad and Robert, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the wrestling this week. I did, except for Final Battle, but that's another story. I might do a review on Final Battle separately because...
Well, wait, hold on. We have to mention something. Oh, I have to ask something.
Bandido.
Bandido. Yeah, I have to ask about Bandido.
That was so unfortunate. After all the video packages they've done to build him up, something happened when he came in. He did one move, and then he looked fucked up, and he couldn't really carry on and finish because he was supposed to save Matt Cardona.
You're missing. Okay, so he had it. From what I read, I didn't see it, but I saw the little video that they showed on some YouTube video, and it looked like he was concussed.
Wait, what show was this?
Was it Ring of Honor?
Ring of Honor.
Oh, okay. I was like, why don't I remember this?
No,
yeah.
Jericho won. He beat Matt Cardona, and they were beating him down the learning tree, and then Bandido came in to save Matt Cardona, and he hit one move on somebody, and then he just went down in a heap, and everyone's like, what the fuck? And then the referee's checking on him, looking at him, trying to see, are you okay? And he wasn't okay. No, they just canceled the scene. I think he was supposed to do a dive on Big Bill. He low blowed Big Bill.
No, but he literally low blowed him. He hit him right in the dick, dude. That wasn't a working shot. I think he was so messed up he hit him. But I think it was an accidental shot, though. But still, he hit him
sad
right
because
where it hurt.
We had actually been sort of, in a way, praising those segments of Bandido and looking forward to him coming back.
In a way. But then why is he coming back to Ring of Honor, dude?
Yeah,
they're showing these shows on Dynamite and Collision. Okay, obviously Collision is what it is, but Dynamite, they definitely showed some of these videos where he's the bandit, right?
I assume because he was coming to feud with Jericho, so that would be on Dynamite, but okay.
Or on Ring, or he would be on Ring of Honor. That's why he did. I didn't know he was coming to feud with Jericho, though. They didn't really make that clear, did they? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was a shock when I saw Bandido, but all right, guys. That's enough.
Man.
Merry Christmas. Christmas is coming up. I'm going to text you guys candidates for year-end awards. So me and Vlad, we're talking, Robert. We're going to have, I think, 3 or 4 more awards maybe. So I'll send you guys the candidates, and you guys got to submit votes, and we'll go over that next week on the Malapert Smark podcast. But for right now, for Vlad, the Frozen Asian, and Vlad, the wrestling expert.
I always wanted to be the Frozen Asian.
And Robert, the Frozen. I'm sorry. It's late, man. To people who don't know how hard it is doing a podcast, it just seems easy, huh? Like we think we just press record and start going. Dude, I'm tired. I've been at work all day. Before that, I had to hang out with my girlfriend. I'm tired, bro. I got no energy left. But all right, so Vlad, you're the wrestling expert. I'm sorry.
Damn it.
Robert, the Frozen Asian, the pride of Indonesia, the most famous man from Indonesia. Thank you guys for so much for being on the show.
Because he's the only man we know from Indonesia.
To me, he's the most famous guy.
That's good enough for me.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for hanging out. It was fun.